It's been a really good afternoon for the Bucks. They've defeated Guiseley 4-1 this afternoon in National League North, and I have a very happy manager, Gavin Cowan, with me. Gavin, you said after the game with York last week that the thing you wanted to see was that level of performance maintained, and are you happy that happened?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if anything today was more of a reflection of the players than it was last week. You know, you expect them against the top of the league, a club, a budget the size of York. You know, it's you've got to play well. You know, otherwise you're going to get found out. And don't get me wrong, you know, guys, they're a very good team. We've had a great start to the season, but today was where I really wanted to see what the players were all about, and you know, they came through with flying colours.
Obviously, Aaron Williams is going to get the plaudits for a hat-trick, and you must be pleased for him to sort of, like, he's been going through a bit of a barren spell, hasn't he?
Yeah, a lot of people don't see what goes on behind the scenes, and which is obvious, you know, and they can't possibly begin to understand that. That's just the way it is. But you know, if you knew the type of character that he was, it's credit to him, because he's a phenomenal lad who wants to do so well. And I think, like I said, with all of the players, they've been doing so well. They've been working so hard, that actually sometimes you try too hard. And I think the 2 weeks give us a chance to reset, start to understand, the players start to understood that I expect standards around this football club. You know, a club the size of ours is a club that needs people working for the shirt, and that doesn't matter how long a contract that you've signed, if you're not doing it on a week-to-week basis, you know, you don't earn the right to be here. And I think that goes for everyone in every capacity, myself, yourself. You have to hit certain standards, and that's what I expect. But Aaron certainly adheres to that. One thing I can say is whether he's scoring or not, you know, his attitude has been impeccable. He's been working extremely hard, and today was really the fruits of all of his hard work. But he's certainly a lot sharper now, and it's off a difficult season. People got to remember that as well. You know, I think people said to me that Matty Stenson was my #1 target, which I did say, but it was him and Aaron. You know, to be alongside Marcus and Andre. You know, I do like my 4 strikers, and I thought that you know, Aaron was my #1 target, and he's come off the back of a difficult season. But yeah, hopefully today and last week as well was the kick-start into him really being a player that we brought to the club.
Yeah, sure. And we spoke about the players who came into the squad last week, and you know, they just carried that on, didn't they? I think Arlen Birch particularly just sort of like very quietly just went about his business. And
yeah, Arlen's not played all season. You know, we're talking about an FA Trophy winner who's played 35 games in the league above. Again, the recruitment has just been brilliant. You know, I say so myself. But Arlen's again another lad who wants to come in and be the best he can be, and he certainly deserves the plaudits today because it was a good performance from him.
Sure, and I think what was maybe noticeable in the rest of the team as well is that you talk about when we haven't got the ball and what you do when you haven't got the ball, and that urgency to press, and that seemed to be really evident today.
Yeah, like I say, the minimum requirement of this football club is that you work hard, that you show some desire, and you do a job and a half. And they've been my messages. You know, when we're winning games or when we're losing games, I know we went through a difficult couple of weeks. You know, it all came at once, didn't it? But you know, my positivity and my optimism hasn't wavered. You know, I think you'll probably be the first one to say, Rich, I don't change my messages. You know, we don't get too excited when on a day like today when we've been magnificent. You know, without trying to overdo it. And we win 4-1, and we don't get too down when, you know, we have a disappointing result. Ultimately, that is football, peaks and troughs. We're playing this song on purpose. You know, it's peaks and troughs, and we just got to try and make sure that those peaks are a lot more elongated than the troughs, and because that's football. You know, the team that has the most consistency in this league will be the team that's successful, and that's what I aim to do. And I won't get too down about a couple of weeks. I won't just, you know, curl up in a fetus position at home in bed. That's not me. I'm a fighter, and if anything, I revel in that, but I also revel in the expectation now, because hopefully we've created another expectation where, you know, the supporters are optimistic and they want to get involved and be a part of the club again. But like I say, you can't just do that when we're winning games. You've got to be a part of it, come what may. And the message is, look, you know, whether we win, losing or drawing, be a part of the football club, keep coming and supporting, keep that trust in that process, which, you know, we'll get mocked when we lose. You know, people, sign of a weak person is someone who'll you know, berate someone who's down, you know, and I never revel in anyone's downfall, you know, and a lot of people wanted to revel in our downfall, and we'll want to do again this season. But I'll never come away from that. You know, I really believe in what we're doing. I believe in the players, and ultimately we've just gone back to basics. Those 3 commandments of hard work, desire, do a job and a half. Because then the players' quality shines through, and then if we can give them a game strategy that they can, you know, adhere to as a rule of thumb, then they can have the courage and freedom to go and play like they did today, and that's when it all comes together. So, you know, I'm very quick to say that the players need to take responsibility when they go over the white line, and that's when we're losing games. But today they went over the white line, they took responsibility, and they deserve all the credit. No one else. The players that were on that pitch today deserved all the credit.
Okay, and then it's Altrincham next week, and you know, it's a difficult place to go, isn't it? But going there in good spirits.
Well, yeah, of course. But again, the message is the same. You know, don't get me wrong. I've really enjoyed that win today, but I'm now thinking about Altrincham. You know, and we've got it's a long season. As I've said, when we're losing games, now when we win a game, it's the same messages. It's a long season, and we've got to go to Altrincham, and we've got to put in a performance like we did today, because we set a standard, and they're the standards that I expect of this football club. You know, it's a huge football club that I'm very passionate about. You know, I'm local now, and I want us to do well, and I'm very passionate about that. And that is when we're winning and when we're losing. And ultimately, we've got to go to Altrincham now and set them standards. You know, the supporters here will always get behind you if you're working hard, and we did that today tenfold. You know, it wasn't just a pat on the back. You're working hard. I'm talking. The lads went way above and beyond today. So they get paid to do their job, but they get a pat on the back for when they've gone above and beyond. And I thought they deserved a pat on the back today.
Okay, that's great, Gavin. Thanks for your time as ever.
Cheers.
Thank you.